I'm Bailey Bates. Here are your headlines from Central Texas. We are following new reactions after the disturbing testimony inside the preliminary hearing for suspended Fort Hood OBGYN Major Blaine McGraw. 6 News reporter Juliana Jackson spoke with advocacy groups who support survivors of military sexual trauma and say the case is reopening wounds for many people. We do want to warn you that some parts of this story are disturbing.
Military prosecutors say suspended Fort Hood OBGYN Major Blaine McGraw now faces more than 270 specifications under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, including sexual assault, abusive sexual contact, indecent recording, and conduct unbecoming an officer. CID investigators found hundreds of videos and images on McGraw's devices. A digital forensics examiner testified investigators found videos, images, and thumbnails across multiple devices, including evidence some files were moved to cloud storage and emailed to and from McGraw. An expert OBGYN testified she reviewed a pattern of what she believed were medically unnecessary breast exams, many involving young women under 30 years old. She also testified some patients were left uncovered, examined without chaperones, and that McGraw appeared to fish for reasons to perform breast exams. The court also heard testimony that McGraw allegedly admitted to CID investigators he developed what he described as voyeuristic tendencies after a deployment to Syria. Advocacy groups like Shield of Sisters says the public nature of this hearing can reopen trauma for other survivors of military sexual assault who are following this case.
These are lives that we're dealing with. These are people's who they are. And trauma will affect who you are.
The defense pushed back throughout the hearing, claiming the recordings were for medical documentation purposes and questioning how CID conducted interviews with McGraw. Moving forward, groups like Shield of Sisters is advocating for MST survivors and change with the military.
We want to continue to be the beacon of hope that is there for people.
Well, meantime, hundreds of people gathered in Killeen to remember Mia Griffin for what would have been her 18th birthday. Mia Griffin is the 17-year-old girl who was killed at Blora this past weekend. 6 News anchor Adrienne Alexander visited the event and heard from family and friends who say they plan to keep her memory alive.
We pray for the peace that surpasses all understanding, that even in the midst of this situation, that we will have joy in this particular moment as we celebrate Mia's life.
Hundreds of people in shades of pink filled the park in Killeen Wednesday, a color that 17-year-old Mia Griffin loved so much.
The love and support y'all showing my baby today means so much to us.
Mia would have turned 18 years old on May 27th and was set to graduate from Harker Heights High the same week. Her parents describe her as a girl with an outgoing personality and a bright light in their life.
She was such a beautiful person. The person that you guys saw, that was really her all the time, you know. She was a really good kid. She tried to do the best, her best in everything.
And her friends say Mia was the kind of person who left a lasting impact on everyone she met.
She was truly the prettiest, kindest, most sweethearted girl ever. Mia was deeply loved by everyone around her, and if you knew her, you knew how special she really was.
Saturday night, a fight at the Belton Lake Outdoor Recreation Area ended in tragedy. Mia was shot during the incident and later died at a hospital. But today, the focus was on celebrating Mia's life.
We understand the type of person that Mia was. She deserved so much better, and we're glad you're here on her 18th birthday.
As the sun began to set, loved ones released balloons into the sky, a symbolic tribute to Mia's life, her spirit, and the memories they will carry with them forever.
Mia, she loved to celebrate, and she was going to make sure the sun was going to be out today for her celebration, just for Mia.
And those are your headlines from Central Texas.